So today I'm going to be talking about traditional or school at home curriculum resources. Hi friends, welcome back to Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. So today is going to be a bit different format from my usual format. I usually get on screen at least to say hi, but for the next few curriculum videos, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get on the computer and just do this slideshow for you. Just so you know, before I get going, I will link below a link to these slides. So if there's anything I talk about here that you want to go back and look at, I will have a link for you in the description below this video. This is part of my series, How to Get Started with Homeschooling. And if you are interested in checking out that series, I will link up here and you can start from the beginning and get the playlist for the series. However, it is also going to be a mini series of different styles of curriculum options, just things that I've encountered, stuff that I've heard of, stuff that I've researched a bit for you, and I'm just going to present different styles of curriculum to you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So here is an overview of what is the traditional homeschooling style. So I did do a video talking about the different homeschooling styles and methods. And so the traditional homeschooling style is the one that would be more likely to use this sort of curriculum. So that style is the most like public school of all the homeschooling styles. You have the most traditional type of work, and you might have a schoolish schedule. You might be more structured on when you start and stop. You would tackle subjects similarly to public school. So most subjects are taught separately. So you do math, history, science, social studies, and your electives somewhat separately. Your environment may or may not look like a classroom. Most of the work is done at a desk. You might have a whiteboard, you might have a homeschool room, or you might just be doing this work at a desk in your bedroom. Mostly using physical textbooks and workbooks, or I'm going to include some online curriculum or both. So I'm going to be mentioning some online curriculum in here as well. And then often people will choose one company, not always, but often you'll pick one company to purchase most of your materials from, and you can get a box set from that company. So it's really hard to separate curriculum into the styles, but I'm doing my best with my understanding of the curriculum and the style to just give you a good idea of what sort of curriculums might be out there for you if you're interested in this style of homeschooling. Okay, so here is just the popular options, the ones that I'm going to be looking at and going through with you. First one is just assorted textbooks and workbooks that you mix and match and put together. We have Abeka, a very famous company that has been around a very long time, even from when I was homeschooling back in the day. So we have Abeka, we have BJU Press or Bob Jones University Press. I have used those curriculums as a student myself. We have Easy Peasy All-in-One, Christian Light Education, Alpha Omega Publications, Masterbooks, Power Homeschooling, and Time for Learning. So I'm just going to go through and talk about each of these options. So the assorted textbooks and workbook option, I would say, is mostly secular or neutral in nature. I'm sure there are some out there that you could find in the traditional style that would be Christian if that's what you're looking for, but most of the ones that I'm going to be showing you are secular or neutral. Price would range from very inexpensive. I'm calling one of these marks, I'm calling maybe in the $300 and below range per child, and then maybe up to the $600. But I would say probably mostly in the cheaper range for these. Usually these are physical textbooks or workbooks. I think as you get older, the textbooks would become more and more expensive. But if you have a younger child, you can easily pick up some workbooks and it would be very inexpensive. So you can purchase curriculum online at a teacher store or thrift stores. And here are some popular curriculum brands. So Evanmore, Spectrum, Scholastic, BrainQuest, School Zone, Carson, DeLuca, just to name a few. And I'm going to open up just Amazon and show you what I mean by these workbooks. All right, so here I am on Amazon and I just typed in workbooks. You could be more specific. You would probably put language arts workbook for whatever grade you're looking for, science workbook for whatever grade you're looking for. But I just put this in because it gives a good example. So if you're looking for first grade or reading, daily reading skills. So here are the brands. Brain Quest is kind of an all-in-one if you wanted to just get one workbook and supplement from there. Lots of people like that. So you need to decide if your child would enjoy this workbook type style homeschooling, but that is probably one of the easiest ways and cheapest ways to get started. So that is the first one I wanted to show you. All right, so the next one is Abeka. So Abeka is definitely a Christian curriculum. I have 3 of these here because it can be quite expensive. You may have the textbook, you might have workbooks, you might have test keys, you have test answer keys, you have teacher answer keys, you have the teacher book. So it can get quite expensive. They have physical textbooks and workbooks available, as well as video options. So I'm going to go and show you these in a minute here. The Abeka curriculum was originally developed for classroom teaching. So when you purchase it, your teacher manual will be directed as a classroom environment. It's not going to be telling you how to teach your child as a homeschooled child. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Abeka is quite work heavy and advanced. It will include lots of worksheets and lots of tests, and it will be very thorough, and it could take a lot of time to complete if you do everything that is included. You do not need to do everything, and if you go with this method, be realistic in setting your goals for your child and don't try to complete everything. Your child may not enjoy school if they're forced to do everything that is available. So just be aware of that. So here is abeka.com, and let's just click here, go to the homeschool. So we have parent-led. That is if you just buy the workbooks and you are the teacher and you instruct them. And then they have video lessons. So you're also in charge, but you can get the video lessons so your child can watch the videos and the teacher will teach. And basically it's a teacher in front of an actual class teaching all the students. So the child will be in that kind of experience where they're seeing other students interact with the teacher. And then there's digital. I think you might rent the video lessons for the year. You might want to check on that if that's something you're interested in. And then there's digital, and I'm just not sure. I don't think you get to keep these after the year is over. So let's take a look quickly at the kits. So when you get the Abeka kit, you would get, so for example, here, this is just the grade 1 language arts for the child. And then here is what you would need for the teacher. So you can see that the price here, I mean, there's lots of books there, but this is just language arts, is already this price plus this price if you want the teacher's resources. Of course, you can pick and choose different pieces of this curriculum, but if you go with the kit, if you buy everything, you probably will be spending around $1,000 per child. And some of those items will be reusable, like textbooks, but maybe you don't have other kids, or maybe your other kids won't want to do this. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at Abeka. Okay, so next we have BJU Press, very similar to Abeka. There are a few differences. It is also a Christian company. It is also on the pricier side. They have physical textbooks and workbooks, and they have video as well. So the video actually are made for homeschoolers, and the teacher will be talking directly to your child and teaching your child. So it's a little bit of a different video experience for your child, and it is taking more into consideration that you are a homeschool student. It will also include lots of worksheets and tests. It is known to have more focus on critical thinking, and it's also very thorough and may take a lot of time to complete if you do everything. So you need to be prepared to take things out if your child feels overwhelmed. So let's take a look at the BJU site. All right, so here is BJU Press Homeschool. And so if I click on shop, here are some textbooks. Here are the video courses. And so let's take a look here at grade 5. I'm just picking grade 5 because that's my medium kind of grade here. So the complete kit here would be $871.90. And I believe that does not include the video. So that's everything. That's your student kit and teacher kit for everything that they would say in grade 5. And when I'm talking about complete sets, I'm talking about the basics. So in some of these, it would include Bible, but in general, it's going to be language arts, math, history, and science. So that is the price that I'm basing my estimation price on. So then if you wanted to do the video courses, you could take a look here at grade 5. And so online with textbooks, and then you can add electives. So that's in almost $1,000 range. So I would say this is still cheaper than Abeka, but just by a few $100s, and it's around $1,000 per child. Okay, so next we have Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. Now, Easy Peasy is a Christian program put together by a former homeschool mom. I'm not sure how she put this together, but it is absolutely free if you don't want any of the printed materials. It comes with courses for K to 12, and your child can go on to the site and complete all of their schooling absolutely free. So this is an amazing resource for people who don't have a lot of money and just really want to get started with homeschooling. I have heard there are parents who are very happy with the whole program. They did it with their children all the way through and are very happy with it. Definitely something worth looking at. So it is online, but you can purchase physical copies of workbook. For example, the math sheets or the language arts sheets. So you can go and purchase those, I believe, on Amazon. And the website, it is a free site. So you're not paying any money for this. So it is not the most high-tech site. And I feel like I've looked at it and I've been in it and I have explored it a bit myself in the past. And I think it might take a little bit to get used to the layout. It's not super intuitive. However, it is free. So the parent can pick the classes they want their kids to take. They can tell their kids which grade levels to be doing in the different courses. So you can customize it to your child. I think it takes about an average amount of time to complete each day. So not crazy fast, not really long school day. And like I said, subjects and levels are customizable by the parents. So let's take a look there. So I'm not going to take too much time here. Pretty much you need to come on here and take a look for yourself. There's a quick start guide here that will explain it a little bit more. And yeah, so come on over here if you're interested in seeing what a free curriculum, online curriculum could be. There's a lot of information, so you can take a look and see if that might be something you'd be interested in using. Next, we have Christian Light Education. So obviously, this is a Christian curriculum. It is mid-range, pretty inexpensive, I would say, but kind of in the mid-range, maybe $400 or $500 per child. It was kind of hard to figure that out because you had to put everything in the cart. So I'd say, let's say about $500 per child. These are going to be physical booklets. So these are not going to be reusable books. I believe each subject usually has about 10 booklets. So if your child really feels motivated by finishing things up, that might be the way to go. So you can finish up a book every 3 weeks or so. And usually there's a test at the end of each book. So they have about 10 tests throughout the year. They have diagnostic tests available. So you can test out of certain booklets and concepts, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like this is the one that has that. So your child could do a test and they could tell you which booklets you need, perhaps in the level below, to be able to catch up or fill in some gaps. As I said, it includes tests, and it should take an average amount of time to complete each day. This is very similar to what I did as a elementary and maybe middle school child myself. So I have experience with these kind of little booklet type homeschool education. So here is the Christian Light shop, and you can shop curriculum here. I have heard really good things about their math program. It sounds like it's very thorough and works with some students, so it's something to look at. Your math programs haven't been working. I've heard really good things about that. And also like their reading program to teach children to read. I've heard good things about that. So let's take a look quickly at grade 5. So here's the reading. And so then you would see the course components. So it looks like they have a book and then some reading comprehension stuff. There's Bible, language arts, math, science, social studies, and it's so these little booklets, and then it looks like they have a main text. Okay, Alpha and Omega Publications. Okay, also a Christian program, and they actually have 4 different options on how you can homeschool. They have an online version called Monarch. They have life packs, which are those little booklets, just like this past one, Christian Light Education. They have a textbook and workbook called Horizons. So that is a series. I don't believe they have the full curriculum. I don't think you could do math, English, language arts, and science. I could be wrong on that. And then now they have unit studies as well. So they have a variety of options. And so it ranges from mid-range to expensive, and the unit studies look expensive. Once I was looking at the unit studies, it looked expensive to me, but maybe I don't understand how it works. So mid-range to more expensive, and it should take an average amount of time to complete each day. So here is AOP.com, Alpha Omega Publishing. And so here's homeschool curriculum. So this is their Monarch, completely online, automatic grading, flexible courses, dynamic media rich lessons, customizable calendar, and simple subscription plans. And it is pretty inexpensive. So if you wanted something that your child is doing online and being directed by a teacher online, that is something to look at. And then they have the life packs, which would be more of those booklets, working on their own at their own pace. And then Horizons, like I said, that's kind of a more textbook style. They have math. Lots of people talk about Horizons math. Sounds like it's a little more advanced than average, just more on the advanced side, and has a lot of practice. I'm not sure what this is. I guess this is an accredited thing. Not really covering accredited things right now. So the unit studies approach. So that is not really traditional, but they also have a unit studies approach, so you could look at that if you're interested in unit studies. Okay, so Masterbooks. I put Masterbooks in here, and some people are going to say Masterbooks is not the traditional curriculum. It's more Charlotte Mason inspired, and it does have some tendencies, I would say, towards that in its gentler approach. However, to me, I feel like Masterbooks is still more of a traditional approach because the subjects are still separate into their own distinct categories, and it is more textbook, workbook based. So I stuck it in here, though I will admit it is much gentler than many traditional approaches. It's not going to give your child the workload that many other traditional homeschooling curriculum gives. It has a lot of differences, but I wanted to put it in here. In my mind, it fits best into this category. Masterbooks is very inexpensive. You can get the 4 main subjects, math, English, social studies, and science, probably we'll take a look at it, but in the $200 to $300 range per child, so that is very inexpensive. They do actively try to write in a living book sort of way, so not dry facts, as much storytelling as possible within the textbooks. So it is Charlotte Mason inspired in that way. It includes assessments in the elementary and middle school grades, not tests, but kind of assessments, but tests are included in the high school levels. And it should take a limited or average amount of time to complete each day, depending on your child. Some kids will be able to rush through it and get it done very quickly if they're just doing those 4 subjects, and other kids might take a little bit longer depending on their abilities. So here's a look at the Masterbooks site. I'm just going to go to homeschool and grade level, and I'm just going to look at 5th grade again. And I'm just going to say you can do a mix and match here. They do have several options, so that's a nice thing. For grade 5, they have many suggestions, so there are a few different things you could look at and make your own little bundle. But I'm just going to say I want the basics set. Just send me what you think my 5th grader should do. And look at that. That is crazy cheap. $211.94 for language arts, math, history, and science. So very, very, very inexpensive, and their work is beautiful, and if your child likes the style, it is a very viable option for many homeschooling families. So definitely take a look at that if that is something you're interested in. So the next 2 are more online options, Power Homeschool, and I put neutral question mark there. I think the curriculum is written by LDS person. I'm not sure. So you might want to do your research, but I don't believe that it talks about God or anything in there. So I put neutral ? Do your own research. It is very inexpensive, $25 a month, and you get language arts, reading, science, math, and social studies, and up to 6 other elective courses. So that it gives you quite a bit for that. You have videos of the teachers teaching the lessons, and then the child has activities to do after that. I am sorry for the spelling mistake here. Minimal amount of time to complete, and the parent has access to a parent portal. So I have had a friend who used Power Homeschool for her children, and she did feel it did work well for her son. It didn't seem like a lot of work to her, and it might be something where it might be good for a short period of time, but I don't know if you would want to rely on it solely, or you might be supplementing with other things and enriching their homeschool. So that's just something to keep in mind if you look at Power Homeschool. All right, so here is Power Homeschool's site. And let's take a look at elementary, online elementary. So here are the options. So it looks like you can probably pick and choose. I think you can probably pick and choose the level, so you don't have to do the same grade level for all your subjects. Definitely research that. And then here are some elective options. So STEM, ecology, engineering, music, social, emotional learning, and discover Spanish. And I'm sure in the middle school, they would have different electives and things like that. So that is something that you might want to consider if you're looking for more of an online program, and also one that is perhaps neutral, not Christian. That might be something you could look at. Okay, so the last one is also a online program, timeforlearning.com. It is secular, so it will teach things like evolution and other things like that. The cost is $20 a month for, I believe, under high school, and then $30 a month for high school students. Like I said, it's online. There's no teacher teaching the lessons, but there's instructions on what the child should do. So elementary school includes language arts, math, social studies, and science. And then secondary has the same 4 subjects, and then they have some electives as well for $5 more per month. Won't take a lot of time to complete, and the parent has access to a parent portal. Time for learning, I'd say it's probably like Power Homeschool, where it might be fine as a basis for your homeschool for either a short period of time if you are really busy and you just can't do anything with your child, but you probably want to supplement on top of both of these programs with just real life experiences and things like that. So in conclusion, that is just a brief summary of some of the most popular homeschooling curriculum out there for more of the traditional style homeschool. I definitely could not talk about every single curriculum out there that is more of the traditional style, but I tried to cover some of the basics and give some variety. Feel free to link below if you have a favorite curriculum that you would consider more the traditional style. I'm sure people would love to see a few more options, and let me know if you happen to be a more traditional homeschooler and if you use any of these curriculum and what do you think of them? Let's help out some people, give some recommendations, help out the people who are new, who are looking for this style of curriculum. Feel free to leave comments below. I would love to have a chat with you and just provide more resources down there for anyone who is new. Thank you for watching this. I am going to be making more videos on the other styles of homeschooling that I talked about in my 8 styles of homeschooling video. So stay tuned for the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see the future content. Thanks for coming today. Goodbye, everyone.